This is Lesson 3 of Module 3 of the course, The Nuts and Bolts of Team Leadership in Christian Ministry. Lesson 3 is titled, What New Testament Leadership Is. In dealing with this issue, we can turn to the book of Acts because of its vivid description of early church life. Yet the book of Acts gives us historical narrative, not a developed ecclesiology. We will be better helped by looking at the epistles of Paul, commissioned by the Spirit of God to organize local churches and to describe God's plan and pattern for the functioning of those churches. Some verses in 1 Thessalonians will serve us well as a model. As apostles of Christ we could have been a burden to you, but we were gentle among you, like a mother caring for her little children. We loved you so much that we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God but our lives as well, because you had become so dear to us. Surely you remember, brothers, our toil and hardship. We worked night and day in order not to be a burden to anyone while we preached the gospel of God to you. You are witnesses, and so is God, of how holy, righteous and blameless we were among you who believed. For you know that we dealt with each of you as a father deals with his own children, encouraging, comforting and urging you to live lives worthy of God, who calls you into his kingdom and glory. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 6 to 12. Therefore, New Testament church leadership is nurture. Nurture is a botanical term which describes the care and feeding of a young plant so that it grows properly to maturity. In verses 7 and 8, Paul uses some distinctive words to describe nurture in the eyeball-to-eyeball relationships which accompany leadership responsibility. He speaks of being gentle, the word haria, used often of a teacher, patient in the process of nurturing seemingly incorrigible students. As if that emphasis were not clear enough, he refers to the gentleness of a mother, not a hired babysitter. The word appears in the Old Testament to describe the Lord God's care of Israel, and in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 24, Paul uses the word to describe the servant of the Lord. But there is more to this emphasis on nurture. A gentle mother cares for her little children. The word care is thilp, which literally means to soften by heat or to keep warm. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 6, in the Septuagint, uses the word to describe a bird caring for its young by spreading its feathers over them in the nest. Such a mother loves those growing children. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. Such yearning for the good of the group may ultimately result in a sacrifice on the part of the leader. Where is assertiveness in all of this? The image of a sharp voice barking orders and running a tight ship? Again, a pagan culture distorts our understanding of spiritual reality. We identify leadership with toughness and ruggedness. God identifies it with tenderness. We think of leadership as handling adults. God thinks of it as nurturing children. New Testament leadership is example. The hard work of Paul's leadership spills out in verse 9. Both day and night, with great effort, he worked among the believers. His own life, and those of his colleagues, provided examples of holiness, justice, and blamelessness before God. Note that this behavior took place before the believers to facilitate evangelism. In chapter 2, verses 5 to 6, Paul assures the Thessalonians that their leaders are human, not some kind of ecclesiastical giants who want to run the organization by sheer executive skill and personal power. The plural pronouns throughout this passage affirm again the biblical reality of team leadership. New Testament leadership is fatherhood. What does a father do? According to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, he, is responsible for the nurture of his children. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11, the words rendered exhorted and comforted are the words parakalons and paramethumenoi, respectively. These commonly appear together in Paul's writing. The former is often used of divine ministry, but the latter is always a human word. Never used directly to mean God's comfort, it describes the way he works through people to minister to other people in the community of faith. A father also urges his children, verse 12. The word carries the idea of admonishing or witnessing truth so that they will walk in patterns acceptable to God. In a nutshell, New Testament leadership encompasses the principles of leadership as outlined in the New Testament of the Bible. And here are some key aspects of New Testament leadership. 1. Servant leadership emphasizes serving others and putting their needs above one's own. This concept is exemplified by Jesus washing the feet of his disciples, demonstrating humility and service. 2. Leading by example. New Testament leadership encourages leaders to lead by example, exhibiting qualities such as love, compassion, integrity, and selflessness. 3. Shepherding. The image of a shepherd caring for his flock is often used in the New Testament to describe the role of a leader. This involves guiding, protecting, and nurturing those under their care. 4. Wisdom and discernment. Leaders are encouraged to seek wisdom and discernment through prayer and spiritual guidance to make sound decisions and lead with understanding. 5. Empowerment and equipping. Leaders are called to empower and equip others for service, helping them develop their own gifts and talents for the benefit of the community. 6. Accountability. New Testament leadership emphasizes the importance of being accountable to both God and the community, recognizing the responsibility that comes with leadership. 7. Humility and unity. Leaders are called to approach their role with humility, recognizing that they are a part of a larger body and striving for unity among believers. Overall, New Testament leadership focuses on leading with love, humility, and a heart of service, seeking the well-being and growth of those under their care. We will stop here for Lesson 3. Next is Lesson 4, Paul's example. Thanks.